Why, hello everyone, and welcome to today's Hooray, It's Thursday. You're live here with Courtney. I'm on the beautiful central coast of New South Wales in Australia, where it's about 32 degrees outside. So I'm very glad to be sitting in here with you guys doing some crafting because it's lovely and cool inside. I have been working outside and I'm a bit hot and bothered. So it was so nice to come in. Well, it is the new year, so happy new year. I hope you all had a lovely Christmas. All of those sort of good things happened. We're into 2026. I'm still struggling with when I write the dates. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, it's just one of those things. Let's get started with our New Year goodies. Now, if you're not aware, there's a few things that are happening in Stampin' Up land. One of them is a new mini catalogue went live. It went live on Tuesday, which was the 6th, so 2 days ago. Along with that, there was some new online exclusives all available in the online store. If you don't have a copy of the catalogue, the paper catalogue, and you would like one, please flick me a message. You can do that via YouTube or via Facebook, whichever platform you choose. All right. The other thing is our bonus days are back. So we don't have celebration this year. We have product of the month, and this month we also have bonus days. So that's going to work quite nicely together. So product of the month, if you spend $125, you're eligible to purchase product of the month, which happens to be a fabulous stamp set, which is on its way to my house because I actually really like this one. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out the my Facebook wall because I have posted a photo of it, or you can see it in the online store. Product of the month, spend $125. You've got the option of buying product of the month for $9. The choice is yours. You only have the option to buy it once in that month. If you purchase January's product of the month, you are not eligible to purchase that product of the month again. However, if you didn't put an order in December, there is still some of December's product of the month available. So you could order December with one order and January with another. So you do have those options available to you. If you put a purchase in of over $90, which you need to if you're getting product of the month, you are eligible for one $9 bonus voucher, which we'll be spending at a later date. So we're earning them for the month of January and we're spending them at a later date. So they're in multiples of $90. So if you put an order in for $90, you'll receive one code. If you put an order in for $180, you'll receive two codes. If you put an order in for $150, you're only going to get one. So you might just like to look at how you pop your orders in, just saying. So just keep that in mind when you're ordering. All right. Without further ado, let's have a look at this new catalogue and what I'm playing with today. I've got it down here on my table, so I'll just bring it up there so you can still see me down there in that bottom corner. You're going to see mostly the top of my head because I'm going to spend my time going like this, but that's all right because I can still look up at you every now and then. Feel free to chat and say hi because it is the new year and I'd like to say hi to everyone. I'm just going to turn Instagram on so that we can see over there because I've figured out how to do that again. So we might have some people joining us from Instagram as well. And their comments don't come up in the stream on Facebook or YouTube. Okay, so this is our mini catalogue, goes from January to April. And if I turn it over, it will actually, normally it gives me the exact dates. It actually goes to the 4th of May. The dates down here are the same. So it can, this catalogue will coincide with the ending of, hi Lol, how are you going? This catalogue will coincide with the ending of our current annual catalogue. All right. We're getting a new annual catalogue that starts on the 5th of May. That we like to do things on a Tuesday with Stampin' Up, which happens to be a Monday in the States. So that's why it happens on a Tuesday here in Australia. You may have noticed that the product of the month didn't go live until the first Tuesday of the month, which was the longest ever because it happened to be the 6th. But for future reference, the product of the month goes live on the first Tuesday of the month. Hi, Chris. Happy New Year to you too. Gosh. Okay, so we're going to have a look. I've been doing some planning and I was talking to my Auntie Laurie the other day, and this year my word for the year is, oh gosh, now I can't think of it. It is not productive, prepared. I'm going to be prepared. So I'm not prepared for this, but that's okay because I know what I want to do. So that's as prepared as you're ever going to get me. But I'm going to be prepared. So being prepared, I have already decided that I'm using the Nature's Walk suite, which happens to be this beautiful little suite for my retreat that's coming up in March. Okay, so there's still seats available at the retreat in March. It's a 2-day retreat. And I thought I would play with it today because I really, really like it. And I think the sentiment to a great guy, we haven't had that sentiment before, and if we have, we haven't had it for a long time. And there's so many things that you can put with that from this catalogue. The designer series paper is really pretty. I've actually got it here in my hot little hand. And I've also got this textured paper, which is like I don't know. Do you remember how when you used to make your own paper and it felt like recycled paper and it was all rough? That's what that feels like. It's very nice, but it's not as thick and as uneven as I used to make. So just saying. All right. So we're going to play with Nature's Symphony because I really like this sentiment, and we're going to make a bloke's card because I know that a lot of people struggle with mail cards. We've got some textured dies which will cut out, and some of them will just emboss. We've also got some cutting and embossing dies as well. So this little guy here will actually these two little guys team up on top of each other. Nobody cuts these don't get cut out by this from what I remember. So we'll just have a look at that. Oh yes, I lie, because if you look in the catalogue, sorry guys, told you furfies. See, I don't know if you can see there. These two have got an outline around them, and that tells me there's a die that coordinates. All right, so does that make sense? So that means that if I stamp this image or that image, there's a die that coordinates with that's going to cut it out. So that is perfect. All right, so that will be these two because they're not shown at the correct size. If you want to do them at the correct size, you can cut them out and put them on the back. All right, but they're not shown at the correct size here. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The other thing that comes with this suite, which, where did I do, is these gorgeous little pentagons. Pentagons, are they a pentagon? Has my math getting me? Where are they? Natural Symphony dies, walk. Yep, pentagons. So, and they come in 3 different sizes, which is always a good thing. And this ribbon, I haven't opened it, but when I read the description, I knew exactly what I was going to like. It's Secret Sea in colour, and it's like we've had it before, but it's just so nice. And like they're calling it open weave ribbon. I reckon feeling it. Let's see, what does it say? 100% polyester. If you heat that with the heat gun, that is going to be cool. So let's have a play with that. What do you reckon? Because I've got my heat gun handy. Yep, I do. So we're going to make a bloke's card, and we're going to use all the goodies in this suite. Most of the goodies in this suite. Now, the other thing in this catalogue that I really, really love, that this sentiment to a great guy is going to go with perfectly. Oh, there's not that one. Okay, I didn't bring it over. Is the gears, and it's actually not in the are you in the catalogue? Yep, there they are. Gears and texture bundle. This set does not have sentiments with it, so that to a great guy is going to go perfect with that. So I think they team up beautifully. I didn't bring it over with me. I do have it because I do love it, and I really missed the old one that we had that was similar. So I made sure that that was on one of my pre-orders. Joining our Stampin' Up family, you get to pre-order. So I've had a little bit of time to play with these. However, I haven't had the time. So this is my first play with the Nature Symphony dies and stamp set. But I have already had a bit of a play with gears and textures. This is my other favorite, which you will get to see more of, is Joyful Squares. And the reason why I really love that, I love the sentiment good times, and from a scrapbooking perspective, this really appeals to me because I really love that scrapbook page. And I have done something similar. I haven't posted on the pages yet, but you will eventually get to see it. But what fun. So yeah, if you haven't got a copy of this catalogue, you live in Australia, you would like a copy of this catalogue from a paper perspective, because I can just flick you the PDF, but if you want a paper perspective, let me know and I will organise one to land in your mailbox. Okay, so without further ado, let's chop into the paper so that we can get going with some creating. Now, Chris will be sitting there at the other end of her computer going, of course you like this paper, Courtney, it's green. Green happens to be my favourite colour. I've always liked green. Maybe it's something to do with the red hair. Hi, Natalie. How you going? All right. Yep. Green and I get along really well. Have done since we were kids. Okay. So we've got these beautiful swirly pieces of paper, which has got this great fun texture piece. I looked at that and I automatically thought, oh, that's going to be really good for school scrapbooking. So I don't know about you lot. Yes, your catalogue, if you're a team member, when you put an order in, it should have given you the option of adding your first free catalogue to your box. If it didn't, get in touch with demonstrator support and they will send one out to you. Hi June, how are you going? Happy New Year to you. How fun is this one? That'll look really good with the gears and textures because of that swirly feature. And this one's just a mottled Secret Sea, Night of Navy type background. Okay. More green. Yeah, I know. Loving it. And some pretty peacock on the back there. Look at that. How nice is that? Old olive on one side is just appealing to mine. Oh, I like that one. Again, another piece that's going to look fabulous when it comes to school scrapbooking photos. My school colors for the girls were brown and yellow and green. And yeah, it's so hard to find something different. And oh, I like that. Now, okay, I bet this is like one of those eye charts. It's not made to make sense. Music to soothe us, to soothe all its, I can't think of what that word is. It's like a story. Let me sing for little children. Get to the, I don't know. Anyway, if someone can decipher this and work out where it comes from, I'd love to know because I'd like to actually be able to read it. But because it's not so, it's nice in the respect that it doesn't just jump out at you and you have no choice but to read it. It's not a definite thank you. It's not a definite birthday. It just looks like it's quite a nice prose, but it's directional. So keep that in mind. Okay. Oh, look at this one. There's some more green for Courtney. They are nice, aren't they, Cheryl? And we've got, that's got to be Mossy Meadow on the back there. All right. And some more. This one looks like Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. Oh, I like that one too. That one's going to make good school card. Oh, boy. Okay. I'm so far behind when it comes to scrapbooking with school kids. Balmy Blue, Blueberry Bushel, Cloud Cover, Crumb. So there's your blues covered, Cloud Cover, all the way up to Cloud Cover. Crumb Cake. And then we've got Garden Green, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, more greens. Old Olive is in there as well. Pretty Peacock. So the other versions of blue are Night of Navy and Secret Sea. And we've got Crumb Cake and Pecan Pie thrown in for our neutral, our brownie sort of colours. This here is the texture paper. Now you only get 3 sheets, but it is only $13, so just keep that in mind. Hi Sharon, how you going? Now I don't know if it's going to let me show you this, and I don't know which piece will probably be the yes, maybe this darker. There's 3 different shades of gold, like cream, gold, and then one in the middle. So I don't know if you can see that on your screens, but you can see like little flecky bits. It feels like recycled paper. It's smooth. It's not smooth. It's rough. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how it stamps on, but it's just nice. And I thought we might have a bit of a play with giving it a bit of a scrape. Now I bought over some Night of Navy. Okay, and we're going to make a landscape card today. And did I cut that straight? I did. Excellent. So I normally make portrait cards. All right. Everybody that knows me knows I normally make portrait cards. I've got an envelope and I've got some innards. So let me just pull those bits out. I've got a little bit of cloud cover. I've got some basic white and I've got designer series paper and I've got stamps. These are brand new stamps, so we need to just give them a little bit of conditioning. And when I say conditioning, a couple of things that you can do with them. First one being is clean them. Okay. Just give them a nice rub over on the image side. I'm taking off the thin piece. All right, so on the image side. Just give them a nice little wipe over. Just gets that, I don't know, newness off them. I didn't fully wet my cloth. Okay. So, and the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put them all onto a block. Not that block, I need a bigger block. Because I want to put them, I want to have them on here so that they sit on my piece of plastic, essentially in the same spot where they were, but I want them on the hard piece of plastic, because there's two pieces of plastic. There's one that they fit on really, really good, and there's one that they don't. No, like there's a soft piece. And put this guy here. So I'm just pulling them off and sticking them on the block so that I'm going to stamp them onto I'm hoping it's going to work. No, it's not. So I want to put them on there like so. Then I'm going to stick that under there. Yep. Okay. Now I know what I'm doing. All right. So I'll just pull out my, in this case, Night of Navy, because I didn't bring Secret Sea over. I had been using Secret Sea for them because my Night of Navy wasn't juicy enough. And you will notice that the big leaves have some texture to them, so they're not going to stamp perfectly. Just saying. Okay. The name of the paper is Natalie. That's part of the Nature's Walk suite, and the paper is actually called Nature's Walk. Okay, the other papers, the thick ones, the other nice pieces are called. Hold on, I'll just stick this down and then I'll tell you. Are called the Natural Hues Textured Specialty Paper. Okay. Right, so we'll just let that dry. And then I'm going to stick my piece of thick plastic to that side so that when I put my stamps in there, I know that everybody is home. Okay? So that can just hang out over there. These guys are going to get cleaned. I'm going to use this one because this one's a bit wetter. Woo! I sent these through the washing machine with a dark load recently. They smell so nice. So, all right, I've got little bits of stuff stuck to me. Okay, so I'm definitely going to, and like our fellas can have a nice big leafy stamp set. That the big leafy stamp set, that doesn't make it too girlish. Come on, baby. It's very sticky. Why did I stamp it like that? The reason why I stamped it like that, I put it on like that, is because to make it cut out of the shape perfectly, it needs to go onto the block the way that it would normally fall. Okay, so like I just pop them on. See, because the beauty of photopolymer is you can bend it if you would like to. And, oh, you're a bit small. Let's get a bigger block. I've got my stash of blocks sitting here beside me today. And where's my To a Great Guy? Right there. And I'll often do that with the sentiments. Okay, so those ones can sit over there. All right, so let's get stamping. Okay, now with a piece of, depending on which way you cut your paper, sometimes you find, if I'm doing a landscape card, I'll cut my piece of paper this particular way. The reason being is that when your card is sitting on someone's piano, mantelpiece, wherever they are sticking it, what will happen is, you've got to hold your tongue right here. What will happen is that it will sit nicer. Okay. You can also do a portrait card this way and have it so that it sits up like that, but I like it sitting like so. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so this is called an A-frame if you're doing your card up this way. Okay, but I'm going to do landscape today. How big is this piece? All right, so that's my inside piece. I've got my envelope here so that I'm ready to go. And we're going to make the designer series paper do a little bit of the talking today. Okay, so I am going to pull out my trimmer. And we're going to have a bit of a play. Okay, so these dies, because we haven't even looked at them yet, have we? Let's see, do they have a knife around the edge of them? Yes, oh, that one does. And look how big they are. Oh, that's nice. This one's really nice. I really like that. Okay, I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. This will be really good on our two-tone cardstock because as it pokes through, you can use the top side, which will be essentially be the negative or the wrong side. You can use the top side and then you can sort of rough it up with a bit of sandpaper and that's going to look fab. This one here doesn't have, oh, wow. Yeah, that's what I do, but, you know, oh my gosh, Sharon has written a novel. Let me read it to you. Just peel the thin piece, ink it directly, and then lay a piece of cardstock over the top, stamp the images on, and then clean them. Then stick the thin plastic back over the stamp images with a bit of tear tape, lay it on the whole piece of stamps back onto the thin layer. Then you have a stamped image to stick the inside of your stamp cases, so you know if anything's missing. I just adhere mine to the inside back of the insert. I've tried that, but I ended up with things being opposite way around, that's why I just did it that way. And look, you know what? We're all going to find our own, it's like a river. We're all going to find our own path. That took longer than the way that Sharon's, hi, how you going? The way that I did it took longer than what Sharon's described. So I do like her version. Okay, we need to get moving because otherwise I'm just going to keep chatting to everyone. It's so nice to see everyone. I do like these dies. They're nice and big. When you look at them in comparison to the size of our card front, they're just smick. Okay, this is nice. We're going to cut that out of some designer series paper. Yep, cut and emboss machines behind me. I didn't bring it over to my chair. We're making new tables, so it's been very, very busy here. All right, so what else have we got? Let's get some designer series paper happening. Oh, decisions. Okay. You know what? Sometimes when I'm thinking that I'm overwhelmed and there's too much to think about, I'll often pull out the I'll pull out the catalogue and I'll have a look in the catalogue and see what it's got to share with me. So this will be interesting to see how nicely this cuts. Now, quite frequently I'll cut pieces like this to 6 by 6 from there, which is what I'm going to do. And actually, that cuts very nicely. A little bit fluffy, expected that. I cut little bits like this because if I cut it 6 by 6, then I card fronts out of it once. I cut them down, little titty bits left over, but I'm actually okay with that. Now, because this is a relatively new blade, but you guys, but I always nail file handy. Doesn't matter what sort of grit it is, but it will just take off that little bit of fluff. Now, what I wanted to see on here, I'll just move the trimmer out of the way and so that everybody can see. What I wanted to see on here, I probably should, oh, it's too small a scrap, is if I do this. Oh, yes, it does. So there's all these little white flecky bits in here. And it's like the bits of fibre that they've put into the paper to give it the texture. And by giving it a bit of a scrub, isn't it? Look at that. You can actually see the fleck so much better. The other thing that I'm going to have a look at, have a white core. No, it doesn't have, it's not like our cardstock that's two-sided. It doesn't have a white core, so the colour through. Right. Okay, tears beautifully. Well, you know what? What do you reckon? So we're going to tear it. I can make two different, I've got enough pieces. It's the same. Okay, so when you tear it, and that'll give me a side that doesn't have it's rough, but it's also smooth, because when you look at this side, you can see the layers of the paper on the inside. Do you see what I mean? All right. So, and I like having that layer up. Okay, so it looks that torn layer. So we'll decide which size piece we want. All right. Oh, they're going to go that way. My leaves are going to go that way. And I'm actually going to cut the leaves out of this end of the paper. Now, when I've got paper that looks like this, if I'm because we've got two pieces and there's always more paper in the store. Ooh, sorry, didn't mean to make a big noise. And I'm cutting it 6 by 6 so that I can do my little paper saving bit. I'll cut it that way so that I've got both pieces, the feature on both pieces. I actually only want the piece from this end. I am going to cut it the same size I would cut a card front, because there's a couple of things that I can then do with mine. I can use both my negative and my positive. Okay. So when I cut this piece here out, I'm going to cut it out of the middle so that I can use this outer edge, or I can use that negative with that flower, those leaves in the middle. So I do a little bit of placement so that I can make two cards out of the one. And I did bring a second piece of Night of Navy. Oh, no, I didn't. I only bought one piece of the Night of Navy over. The other one is actually the direction that I usually do. So we'll see. We could do that. Let's see. Well, how are we going for time? All right. We'll see what happens at the end. If I'm running good for time, we might slap a second card together. But I'll just do that for now. Okay. So I've got a little bit of cloud cover, and I'm going to need a little piece. I want to use some of this darker, this piece here. Okay. I really like this piece. And again, I'll cut it down a bit. And just to make it, it just makes it a little bit more manageable. I love the 12 by 12 because I like to be able to use it for my scrapbooking, but I need these pieces small and manageable for my card making as well. Okay. And the other piece that I'm looking at using will be this piece with the words on it. All right, so the words, I normally make portrait cards, so we're going to cut it this way. And I'm going to cut it this way. Now, yes, I know I'm making a landscape card this time, but I'm not using the word side. I'm using the other side, so that's all good. All right, to this great guy. Okay, so there is no cloud cover ink. Okay, guys, not a problem. We don't have an issue with that. What we're going to do with this piece, this thing of ink, is we're going to find my, oh, I did have another piece exactly the same. I'm going to find where I put, where did I put my card? I'm going to fold this one in half, even though I'd already folded it and I've put my inside in it. It's got to be here. No, we'll use this one. The other one will show up because it's got my inner in it, so it's going to need to show up. So using Night of Navy, or actually we'll use Balmy Blue because I think that'll work better. Maybe no, you know what? I think we'll use Lost Lagoon. I think it'll work. Hold on, crumb cake. Decisions. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to texturize this piece of cloud cover, but I'm not going to, I want it to stay cloud cover like. What happened there? My hands are so sawdusty that things are not sticking to things properly because they are sticking to my sawdust instead. So I'm just going to stamp that on there because I'm essentially stamping off. Onto my piece of cardstock. And I'm texturizing my piece of cloud cover just because I want it to have something on it. We'll see what else I do with it in a minute, but at the moment that's what I'm doing with it. Okay, all right, and I've got some basic white here as well that I'm going to use for my sentiment. Here it is here. Okay, all righty. So let's grab the cut and emboss machine and we'll do some cutting out. Been looking at stand-up desks as well for crafting because I do like to craft standing up. It's one thing that I used to do all the time, and I'm thinking that I really need to get back into it. It just provides me with a little bit more. I find I have a little bit more. I don't know what the right word I want to use is. I seem to be able to. My back doesn't get so sore. Hi Nick, how you going? All right. So we'll cut these beauties out. Now the other thing that we're going to cut out, where did I put those dies? Is I'm going to cut out a little piece of this. You too small. Oh, you are. But that's okay because I'm going to make it work. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, I'm going to just send this guy down here. Oh, I like that too. Okay, let's have a sticky and see what we've got. I found my other piece of card. I found my other card. Look, I'll put it down there. Not somewhere I'd normally put it. Okay. Oh, I can't stand up for too long. You can see my Christmas t-shirt that I'm wearing. I'm not ready for Christmas to be finished. So, oh gosh. Anyway, without further ado, so we'll just pull this guy out. You might need to be, if your cut and emboss plates look like mine, you will need to do it with a little bit of care because when they're all mangled like mine are, everything just gets, they get stuck in the little grooves. But anyway, so this one here, see how it gives you texture as well, and so it cuts, it embosses, and it cuts on the inside as well. None of those pieces fall out as such, but you can sort of juice them up a bit and shove them around so that they give you that texture. Put that bit to the side again. How nice does this look though? It's going to look nice on the positive as well as the negative side, I'm thinking. Okay, just use the little holes to poke it out. This is one of the crafter's tips. If you're wondering why I've got this different tip on it, I do love this. It's nice and pointy. It's nice and sharp. And it's thinner than the tip that comes with the Take Your Pick tool. So it just gives you a bit more oomph. Now, how fabulous does that look? But get a look at the other side. Oh my gosh, that's right up my alley. Bit excited about that. Okay. So, don't mind me. Let's put that there so I don't lose it. Put that there so I don't lose it. What else have we used? Okay, so I'm thinking that we are going to go a bit like so. Okay. We could put that there like that. All right. So I've got to cut this piece down. Oh, no, I wasn't going to use that piece layer on there. I was going to put this piece under it. Which still needs some trimming down. You're going to go on here. And I really like the dark green, but the light is the main feature piece on it. But I think it needs something to just lift it up. Okay, so I think we're going to need some dark color. So what we're going to do now, you'll see in the catalogue, this list is this two-step stamping, like for doing two-step stamping. It's not the same as a two-step stamp, the same as our stamps are that we know as two steps, like our turtles used to be. You know, you'd stamp one of the images, the outline and all of the detail, and then you'd either turn it over and stamp the other side using the shadow, or you'd have a second stamp to do it, to do your two-step stamping. When it talks about two-step stamping in this particular case, what it's talking about is there's two steps here so that you can build layer upon layer. All right. So, and that's what we're going to do. Now, I'm going to bring in my Night of Navy, though I think the loss of it needs that oomph. It needs to be brought up. Okay. And this piece is going to do it a little bit, but more so our ink. Okay. So because of where I want this green piece of foliage, that's a nice way of putting it, this piece of foliage to land, I'm going to stamp at the back there. All right. So let me just move this piece up here and put some Night of Navy onto our nice big leafy stamp. And keep in mind that this bit at the bottom is going to get covered. No problems. Have a nice time out, Hooray. Okay. All right. So, and if you wanted to, you could do another one, which I'm going to do just a little one, so it's even further back. So we've got two clusters of leaves. They're not really a cluster, are they? It's like, you know, a bit of tree in the distance as well as a tree at the front. Now, I don't know if you weren't all here when I first mentioned it. This is the stamp set that I'm using for my retreat in March. The reason why I've picked this particular suite is because I think there's lots of things that you can do with it. There's not a lot of things that I find really easy to stamp with for our fellows. All right, but this particular one I think is one that we can do with our guys in mind. Okay, so I'm actually going to cut a little bit. I'm just going to cut a strip of this off. And I quite frequently do this. My head just goes, oh, yeah, this is what the stuff I want to use. What am I doing with it? It doesn't actually let me play. I don't pre-plan a lot of things. And it's just a matter of going, oh, yeah, that looks nice. Oh, that looks nice together. And I can see how things are coming together as I'm doing them. Okay, so I'm thinking that we might tear this one as well. Oh, so this is, again, this one's got the white core. Now, to get core, you can use your blending brushes, and that'll get rid of that white core. And I know that I didn't cut it and trim it down, but there's a reason why. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you going? Yes, Happy New Year to you as well. I'm hoping that you've all had a very nice, safe New Year. Okay. I'm thinking this piece here needs some texture, and we've got just the opportunity to do some texture here with this little guy. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that big shot, that cut and emboss machine, I just can't get that other name out of my head, but that's fine. I'm going to bring it back in. And we're going to do some texture. Now, this piece will not cut anything out. So, and you will have noticed that in a few of our different stamp sets, that there's a few stamp sets, our die sets, there's a few pieces like that. Let's go this way. And what they do is they just add texture, but they don't cut out. And it's nice to have that. Now, there is a right and a wrong way, but you know what? It depends on what look you want. So if you want the flattened out look, where it's just given you a flat image and it's gone through on the dark, looks good, right? Or if you want, I reckon it'll look better on our on our two coloured cardstock. Not as well on this, but it's still very nice. The other side is raised, and I'll just go like so, and I'll just send it through here. And again, it will be the same with those spots that you can see here. The dots will, depending on what side you put them through, will depend on what size, whether they're raised or whether they're pushed through. Okay. So, oh, I had that other side too close. Okay. Just whatever side you do, just make sure you do the same on both sides of it if you're doing that. Now, this is a really pretty, you can do a lot of textural stuff with this stamp set. I'm just grabbing a blending brush. All right. So this stamp set really lends it to being textural. It lends it to having lots of different things happening on it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is on this piece of paper here, I'm going to use my crumb cake. And I know that we put it onto here, but I've decided I think I want something a little bit different. I'm thinking that I want some of that on here. Okay. So, because this piece is going to sit approximately here. All right. But I want it to blend. I want it to be a bit more grungy. So, and I'm going to try stamping it off first a bit, just to make sure it does what I want it to do. Yep. Stamping it off is the better, my choice of. Okay. And I am going to add a little bit of my friend Glenda calls it zhushing, a little bit of blending. But essentially I'm just adding a little bit of colour to this piece. Now, I can also do at the same time, I'm going to do the same thing around on my envelope a bit. I keep hearing big noises and I keep thinking, oh my gosh, what's he done now? Tony's outside with a saw. And then again, I'm going to do the same thing as this. And you can do it up the side of your card or your envelope as well. See, I've got these. I don't like those. They look like coffee stains to me. Okay. All right. So just a little bit of texture down our side. Oh my gosh, it's crooked. No, we won't look at that too closely. All right. Inside piece, same deal. Just pull up some of that ink from there. And I'm just going to put a little bit of, this will be perfect for junk journaling, this particular stamp. Actually, I think that the leaves will too. So, all right, so we'll just do that. And then where did I put? Here it is, my Night of Navy. And my big stamp with, my little stamp with my leaves on it. And you'll notice I'm still using the inside piece for, they hate that. My inside piece for the, to do my stamping off. Okay, little bit of texture. Yeah, I thought I might have read your mind with that one. All right. It's such, that's twice I've done that. I'm trying to do it too fast, and I'm not putting the right amount of pressure on the middle of my stamp. Okay, again, a little bit of textural stuff. So let's make this piece look very similar. Don't have to do the bottom because the bottom's going to get covered by that nice goldy tanny piece. But we're just adding a bit of, wrong color. Just huff that a bit just to add a bit of moisture to it. And now, before I bring anything back, I'm just going to wipe over because I've got quite a bit of scungy bits here on my glass mat. And that's all clean. Squeaky clean, as they say. Okay, so this piece is going to go on here. And we can actually, oh, no, we can't put that. Yes, we can put that piece down. Get out that knobby bit of glue. Okay. My gosh, look at my fingers. My table has not been painted or sealed or anything like that yet. And it's outside and it's pale pine colour. So I'll be washing my hands before I go back to playing with cutting timber. This piece is going to sit up here on there. This piece is going to sit on here and it's going to get trimmed down. And then the ribbon's going to get tied over the top. Okay, I just want to see some of that texture that I've added on there. I quite frequently do this. If I don't cut it down, I'll use my piece of cardstock that I'm putting on. Oh, look at the color on the back. Putting it on the back of it. The color that I'm putting it, the cardstock I'm putting it on, I'll use it as a ruler and just lean against it to trim it. Nice. Anyway, no, we're not putting that down, Cot. This is going to go on here. And I've made sure some of my texture's on either side. Now, if I wanted to, which I probably will do, and we'll see how it's starting to come together. Look at that. It doesn't look too girlish like, does it? It's quite blokish. I don't even know if I'm going to use this piece. I will be because I want it, because I've made it. So it's going to sit under there. All right. And then we're going to have ribbon, which has eluded itself. And it's just going to go over here. But I'm thinking what we might do is we might shrink it a bit. What do you reckon? Yeah, do a bit of shriveling. All right. So you will need more than you normally would need. And you need your heat gun. Now, you have seen me do this before. I think, if I remember correctly, the last piece I did it on was, maybe peach pie. It was a very sheer ribbon, similar. Just hold on to it with take your pick tool. Now, you may not be able to hear me talk at the same time as doing this, so I'm not going to talk. So I'm just going to hold on to that there, and I'm just going to turn this on, let it heat up a bit, and then need to hold it down. Okay. I'll stick my... Oh, I just cancelled out of you, Instagram. Sorry if those people are on Instagram. Whoopsie. I can't get back onto Instagram, so hopefully they'll join me on here. And that was Chris. So I'll just put a block on this end. Oh, drats. Sorry, Chris. And I'm just... Hold on to my ribbon. It doesn't want me to hold on to it. It smells really bad. You're on both. Okay, that's probably lucky. All right, so see how it's all shriveled? It's not as soft as it was, but now it's all shriveled and it smells really bad. But that's okay, because now it's actually going to add a little bit of texture over the top there as well. All right, so it just gives you that option. It melts beautifully because it's polyester, and polyester, I don't know if you have ever seen polyester melts into little globules and is really, really bad from that perspective if you happen to get burnt and it's what's on, and that's what you're wearing. So all right, the other thing I'm going to do is just go around the edge of this bit a little bit, so everything's sort of going to match a bit better. And this guy here needs a little bit too. But what you'll notice is that it's going to be a bit touchy to do. So you may find, depending on how you want to do it, if you just want to do it on some tips of your leaves, you might find it easy to pick them up and do it like so. Okay? Just to do some tipsy leaves. I've got plenty of plants out there that look like that, although most of them, the plants, the whole leaf is looking pretty, how's your father? Might be a little bit of green down here, but yeah, it's a bit of a worry. It's been so hot and dry. And I haven't been religiously getting out there and watering everything. Been giving them a little bit of a drink, but not enough. So some things are looking a bit, yeah, not so happy. Okay. And that stamp, is that, yes, it's that stamp. You could actually do a stamped image and put it over the top as well, because you've got this little guy to cut it out. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right. Some vellum would look lovely as a layer underneath. Lots of things. Okay, I didn't bring over any crumb cake, but it would also look lovely as a layer underneath. Just so you've got more than one layer. But by doing those two layers there, which essentially is turned into three because I've got that stamping off, you're giving it that extra dimension. All right, so this piece is going to stick. I'm going to stick this piece on, and I'm using glue because glue is my favorite adhesive. All right, try and get it a little bit straight. Okay, my sentiment's going to go on here, so I should, but I don't really know where my sentiment's going to sit. It's not going to be, not going to need such a great big piece. And for the fussy cut haters, I'm going to fussy cut it out. All right. Now, I might just put this on a little bit at each end because I do want to tuck that piece in underneath. It's not going to tuck in underneath at this end. It is going to tuck in underneath at the other end. So I'm just going to put a little bit there of the glue. so that way I've got the option to tuck it in underneath without that glue getting in my way. Okay. Oh, no, too small. Hold your tongue in the right spot. Okay. So then I can still tuck that in underneath there. Okay, this guy, yes, I know it's very difficult to see, but in real life, it's so much easier. Okay, I'm just going to have that roughly piece under there. So I'm not putting this together yet because I need my sentiment. So where is my great guy? Here he is. And I'm going to bring it back to the front, Night of Navy. Although I've got lots of Night of Navy, I might go with some Lost Lagoon just to bring that colour through there. But you know what, there's always more bits of paper, so I can do it again if I need to. Now, Lost Lagoon is a pale colour, so there's a couple of things that you can do here, and it's been a while since I've done this, so this is a test. All right, Lost Lagoon is a pale colour, so I've got Lost Lagoon on there. All right, and I'm thinking this might not work. I want a little bit of Night of Navy on it, just so that it's not all one. So I'm going to stamp it on the back to see what it looks like first and to see if we like it. All right, what do you think? Does it look, to me, it looks a bit like I've stamped it badly because it's not all in the one color. It doesn't look like I've done it deliberately, like, you know, the rock and roll technique. It's not like a flower. So I'm thinking it really needs to be the one color. And I'm going to lean towards Lost Lagoon. Reason being is that there's so much dark blue on here. I'm thinking I want that lighter color. I don't want to use the crumb cake. And the reason why I've chosen not to use crumb cake in that respect is because it's really my base rather than any of my feature colors. But I'd love to hear what you guys have got to say about it while I clean this off and get ready. Okay, so let's just do it in Lost Lagoon and I'll show you the difference. And I know that my ink pools at the sides more, so I know that there's actually more ink there. To a great guy. So here we have plain Lost Lagoon. Here we have, I'm going with plain Lost Lagoon. Here we had a bit of Night of Navy with some Lost Lagoon on it. I'm just going to grungy this bit up a bit and we're going to fussy cut this out. All right, so there's a couple of different ways to fussy cut when it comes to sentiments, because this does not have a die. You can get up nice and close and personal, or you can leave a nice big wide gap, but you move your paper and you don't move you just open and close your scissors. Okay, now why am I showing you this? Because crumb cake embossed, yeah. The new stamp of the new product of the month is a fabulous stamp set that is all sentiments, and it has an amazing looking happy birthday that's nice and big and nice and long and a beautiful font. So you need to fussy cut it as well if you want to do something similar to this, because there's not a matching set of dies. Now, in saying that, how fabulous would it be if that's the next product of the month? Next month was the dies to go with it. Ooh, I think this one's going to sell out, this product of the month that is currently working on it. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to stick. I'm going to ignore that because that is my husband's trailer that's back, and that has nothing to do with me. But Oliver needs to let everybody know there's someone at the door. So excuse my barking. Oliver, no. Yes, yeah, right, whatever you think, Mum. Okay, now somewhere on the table, here it is some care tape. and I'm going to stick this down at the back. Just going to bring it down above, just above that little line, because I really like that feature of that line. And I'm going to put some tear tape on here. Now, because this is my feature panel, I'm actually going to raise this piece. I'm not going to tie a knot on it. I'm not going to tie a bow because it's for a bloke. And blokes can have ribbon. All right. It's just about how you use it. Okay, so that's going to sit down there like so. If you wanted to, you could have a little bit of a gap, but I'm not going to. I'm going to sit it right on top of it. This one here is going to sit just under there is what I'm thinking, but we'll see how we go. Because it might need to sit, it might need to straddle that ribbon, which means glue dots are your friend. Okay, so let's get out our nice big fat dimensionals, which I don't have on the table. I've only got minis. So, and they have developed some legs. If you could see my messy table, actually the girls that come to class know what this table looks like on a regular basis. And there they are there. All right. Take your pick tool. We're going to put some dimensionals. Bigger dimensionals would be a bit more, would be better, but they're not on the table. So we're going with some minis, and that's okay. So you're all going to go, oh, look how many she's using, but there's not that many. It'll be the same sort of number if I was using, it won't be the same sort of number, but the same amount of dimensional stuff if I was using the big ones, just saying. So, or you could say I'm doing a Karen or a Bruno because they are Stampin' Up people that love their dimensionals. And this is why I love, oops, this tip so much. Not that it trashes everything, but it just picks these guys up, holds onto them nice and tightly for me. And because it's nice and sharp and pointy, even, oh no, I'm probably getting a bit full now. Yeah, I'm getting a bit too full. Like this, what, 12? Before it starts to get to the point where it won't pick them up. So I'm jabbing it in, clicking it with my, twisting it to the side, and it's just holding on to them. And then you can take them off as a chunk and put them in your bin. No, I don't. I just drop them on the table and they end up everywhere still, but you know. All right, let's pop this on here. I've just got to hold my tongue in the right spot. Okay, now that looks lovely as well. So if you wanted to do this as a portrait card, you could. And because of the way I've done this piece here can slip under there, or it can slip under there. Doesn't matter because of the way that we've actually glued that blue piece here. Oh, you're looking a bit crooked actually. No, that's all good. So I'm going to go this way, and this guy needs to sit here somewhere. It's going to be up on dimensionals because it's going to sit on top of that ribbon, and this one here is actually going to go underneath this piece of Secret C because it needs to be under there as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And I haven't put any glue on it as yet. These ones here are going to need, these ones here at the top are going to need dimensionals. So I needed to work out who was getting dimensionals and who was getting what before I could actually put anything on it. So you're going to get a dimensional, you're going to get a dimensional. You're going to get some glue. Put a little bit of glue under here. A little bit of glue under here. Now, because it's got texture on it, you don't want to put too much glue because you don't want it to come through either. Okay, and this way I haven't ended up with glue all over absolutely everything because that's normally what I do. So I've just put a little bit of glue under the bits that are actually touching the cardstock. okay, and that's going to hold that down. But I do need to put some dimensionals under these bits that are sticking up here, okay. And we'll stick one under this guy. Not the easiest way to stick on dimensionals, but it works. Got to come up with a card for the Easter show. Let's pull this one up. And we might, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stick a dimensional under this one, and you're going to go, huh? The other ones you didn't? I know. How rude. I've got to come up with a card for the Easter show. Actually, I've got to come up with a couple of cards for the Easter show because I'm going to enter 2 or 3. I am yet to decide. I have to enter 3. I've just been told from the peanut gallery in the background, because then I can get my extra tickets. So there's enough tickets for everybody to come and have a look. All right. See what I did that time? I put them on the piece at the bottom so that now I can just go like that. Okay. So far we've got nice portrait card. So this one here, you'll see where the ribbon's ruffled, and there's a dip there and there's a dip there. Okay, might just get a glue dot. Maybe I won't. Here they are. Just get a glue dot, and I'm going to stick the glue dot under part of that ribbon. Might stick it under there. No, I don't want it to go down a bit. I want it to sit there. And that's just going to keep it a little bit more secure. This one here, because the grape sticks up a little bit, I can put that under there if I want, or I can stick it up here. Oh, there's choices. Yeah, I think it needs to go up there. Okay, but we're going to stick this one on with dimensionals. And I'm going to put them closer to the top of the words. And the reason being is because then less of them will be sitting on ribbon. Because ribbon and adhesive are not always friends. So I might stick a little bit of, I might stick another glue dot down there just to hold that ribbon in place. So I'm just sticking it onto, see how little they are? And then I'll just stick it down here. That looks like it wants to be a flat spot. So that can be a flat spot, okay? And let's just pull this guy out. Coming off. And you're going to have to sit there because, again, I was making it so that those bits that lower, yep, the bits that lower sit to where the natural ruffle happened on that ribbon. Okay, now we've got the fun bits. I love these. Faux bronze pentagons. They're not as heavy as we've had some. Well, yes, they are. They're really heavy. Okay, I just really like them. And normally I like the little bits, but today I'm going to go with the big ones as well. Oh, they are really, I really like these. And we're going to put one of each size. Pretty. What do you reckon? You could put more on if you wanted to. Another 2 up here would be nice. Just use an odd number. It looks better. Okay. Where did my inside go? There's my envelope. There's my inside. To a great guy. There's not really a sentiment that goes with that for the inside of this card. And I have a tendency not to put inside sentiments on my cards anyway. I do sell a lot of my cards. especially at work and stuff like that. So it's good if they're blank, because then you've got plenty of room to write. You don't have to. This card could be, you know, this could actually even be a Valentine's Day card if you weren't all pink and lovey-dovey. Oh my gosh. This one's looking very handmade because it's just got that little bit of a crooked thing happening. Seems to be the day for crooked. Might need new glasses. There we go. What do you reckon? To a Great Guy with our beautiful new Nature's Symphony stamp set from the Nature's Walk suite. And those people that are coming to retreat, if you'd like to make this will be an extra card that you could make on the day. All right. Okay, retreats on the 7th and 8th of March. I still have seats available. Cost of retreat is $200. You will get the suite as part of your goodie bag. Okay, just saying that includes the stamp and die bundle. Here on, no problems, well, thanks. You will find us here on the Central Coast for that retreat. Let me just move this up here. If you want this Nature's Suite bundle, the whole bundle as a whole, the whole collection, so everything that I've showed you, the ribbon, the stamp set, the dies, the ribbon, the pentagons, the designer series paper, and the special Natural Hues textured paper, $149.50 RRP. If you spend $169, you can get $235 worth of product. You could get this whole suite plus a whole heap of cardstock to make a whole heap of cards, or you could make some scrapbooking pages out of it. The choice is yours. There is a really fabulous, thanks Wendy, there is actually a really good, and let me go back to, there's a scrapbooking section in the front of this catalogue, and it's going to make a fibber out of me now, where I don't remember what page it is. Not that one. Look, do you know what? I think it's actually on the next page. No, it's not on the next page. Oh, I don't remember where it is. There's actually a really nice another stamp set that goes with this paper that they've used for part of the scrapbooking. There's a scrapbooking one. I don't know this catalogue back to front yet, so it's just a matter of flicking through and finding it. Let me, I might as well put this, don't want to hide that. Might as well put this on the, so I'm just flicking through just to see, because there is a stamp set that I'm thinking about. This is my favorite. I really love this one. Haven't got it yet, but it has to make its way to my house, because after you've had chickens for a while, you might want to think about getting goats and sheep. Shh, Tony's not a fan. Can you blame him? No, I can. Oh, here it is. This is what I was looking for. So that's that designer, same designer series paper. Nat, get a look at those stickers. Whoa, what fun for junk journaling in those. So that's the Nature's Walk designer series paper teamed up with a sticker sheet. So just be careful when you're ordering the paper. The sticker sheet, the one with the sticker sheet in it, is a little bit more expensive. But this is the stamp set that goes with the scrapbooking component of it, and you can also get all of the dies, the two-tone cardstock that coordinates with all of this paper as a pack. So just be aware of that is in there. Is there one what with the cogs, Wendy? Is there there's a die set? Yes. So you've got your stamps and you've got your dies, but there's not paper to go with it, if that's what you're asking. All right. It's just a standalone bundle. This is part of a suite. This is not part of the suite, but it coordinates beautifully with the suite. So just be aware of that. And there's not a sticker sheet to go with the cogs, but there is a sticker sheet to go with this. And the stickers are all about going for a walk. So I think I need to put my glasses on really good. It says nature walk, taking the scenic route, explore, view, outdoor fun, beautiful day, those sorts of things, which are great for people that scrapbook. No boundaries, that sort of thing. But there's still some quite nice stickers that you could actually use in there that would work on even on a card. You don't necessarily need to use them for scrapbooking. but I do love this page. And I think that I can turn that quite nicely into a school page to go with my school uniform, the kids' school uniforms that, you know, when you've got 3 kids and you're scrapbooking so many school photos, you get to the point where it's like, well, what I want to do something different because it's all the same colors. Anyway, all the links are in the little blurby thing on Facebook. It's in the like in the description. On YouTube, it's in the description. If you're following me on YouTube, please, or watching me on YouTube, please click this subscribe button. The more subscribe numbers I get, the happier I am, because then that will also let you know when I go live, which I try and do for 4 o'clock each Thursday. I am notoriously running late. I was talking to someone at work the other day, actually the boss, who said, who do you think's always running late? Have you noticed? And I said, it's probably me because I live the closest. But, you know, it's just one of those things that, yeah, time management, even though I'm a nurse, has not always been my finest point. Anyway, toodaloo from me for this week. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you close to 4 o'clock next Thursday, and we'll see what we can